All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Rough roads ahead. We'll try to smooth those rough roads out. So I got no idea what condition my back is in, but it should not have stayed that tight for that long a period of time. And again, that was their goal, tightening me up, quote unquote. That's a secret devil speak that they used. Actually. So I'm kind of walking home from the tire place, not what I wanted to do, but it makes no sense in me not to try to walk when I if I take an Uber home, I'll just walk around for the next hour because it's uncomfortable to sit. I mean, there was a chance that I needed the surgery 4 years ago, and if I had my back released appropriately, that I would have seen that and then gone off and done it. And that's probably would have been the best case scenario. Again, when they do this, your life, goes below zero. Again, they pretend that they're just keeping you from getting anywhere, but they're destroying the life, the liberty, the happiness, the health. Again, it's kind of early to tell. I got to let it go a little bit more, but it just doesn't look like it's going to get anywhere. Again, I wish I had this insight 4 years ago, and I'd have got the surgery when I was younger and had it done and moved forward in life and had a good 4 years probably, or at least an okay 4 years. But that's the way the deep state goes, and that's what they do to people. And well, it's being that my legs aren't well, I'm a little cautious. It's not that far to walk. It's like maybe I think 2 miles or something. But and I'm sure I walk that in a day. But again, it's a little when you're injured, it's a little more scary. Now I'm almost positive that I need the surgery. I mean, probably needed it 4 years ago. What am I going to do? I can't even. It doesn't even register that it's 4 years later. Correct. And that's what they do with this thing. 10 years later, 20 years later, you're striving to get forward, and they keep depleting you. Like I said, all I want is to get well and have that normal life again, and try to do some spiritual stuff as usual. So I bought a little umbrella for my phone. So it's a shade. It's a shade. I don't know why I don't just make a regular flat shade. A lot easier, but they're usually too big. They're for the laptop. I've got no idea who allows people to do this to me, but again, best I can tell, they're bound for hell. Again, a lot of times you have people that commit crimes of passion. You have people that commit split-second decisions. These are thought-out psychological warfare, devil warfare against good people type of operations. So, in other words, that person that's a murderer is actually probably a victim of the people I speak about, the quote-unquote murderer, but yet they're the murderer at its root and effectuation. So there is forgiveness for murderers. I know it's hard for people to understand exactly what I'm saying, but Again, these people thought this out over decades and decades of torture and celebrated every bit of torture that worked to debilitate their victim and kill many victims. They're the real people that are going to hell. Now, I could get better. I mean, there's a chance that I could get better. I just don't see it getting past surgery. I'm just hoping that it gets past what it is. Because it's totally released at times. So totally released is not generally how anybody's back really is, especially at my age. So what has to happen is the steroid has to relax everything, and then it has to come back firm, which is what it didn't do. It didn't relax completely last time. It didn't come back the right way. I kind of just got caught up in what they were doing to me. Again, once you're tight and they're stressing you out and tightening you up even more, then it gets to the point where you can't think through anything. Again, they already sent the message, leave, but it's bullshit. They tell you to leave while they block you from leaving. No, I definitely needed them to be pulled off for medical reasons the whole entire 20 years. They probably knew it more than before I knew it. I do it to people all the time, laugh about it. So they're death squads running around ruining people's neurology by stressing them out all day. Again, I told you, it wasn't lifting weights. It's just a scam that they do. But I really lift heavy weights. It's they're stressing me out while I'm doing these type of activities. And I didn't know to get massages. I mean, I actually kind of received the cue, but you can't get to it until you can get to it. Actually, let me go this way. I think I want to go this way. I wasn't going to cross the street, but so it's hope. Like, I don't think I'm supposed to be this loose. So again, I'm hoping that, but it's still kind of spasming, but it's spasming at a slower rate, and it doesn't generally cramp up if I hit it with that magnesium oil, unless I lay down sometimes. Last night I went to sleep, I slept like 8 hours. That's my gauge, really, if I'm well, but I never knew what it meant. Right, so Hashem got to me, like, if you're not sleeping 8 hours, then something's wrong. No, it's a deep state. I mean, I look at people, they have these wonderful lives, got wonderful teeth. He works at a tire store and sells tires. Probably doesn't help too many people in his life at all. Yeah, told me to go on the other side because there's trees over here. Shade. Thank you, Hashem. So again, you owe me for that. So don't just bank on that VA, because who knows if that's going to come and when. And then I got to pay the lawyer 20% or 30%. I can't remember. I have to look. Thank you, Larry. Now, if I could have been relaxed when I was in Texas, I would have went through the lawyer back then. Couldn't think through it. Again, it's still metaphysical, but it plays out physically and psychologically. So again, the physical does exist. Again, the idea that you go to a doctor and the doctor is your answer, or going to a doctor and the doctor isn't the answer. If you're healed, you'll find the doctor that has your answer, if you actually even need a doctor. But again, physical healing and all that, physical methods and psychological methods are part of the metaphysical world, because that's the world we live in today, the physical and the psychological. I mean, all I had to do was find a house. and it would have been normal because that's an up. Once I get that up from owning a home, then the system recognizes me. We don't, people don't even begin to understand because they don't understand that kind of evil just driving down the street and blocking somebody with psychology and physical degradation of their health and disability. Well, I don't know. I don't know till this thing heals. Again, it's just really starting. And when anything heals, it's generally more inflamed because that's part of the healing process. That's why you give it steroids to let it get past that. No, my lower lumbar is probably like bam, gone. I mean, 4 years ago, it would have been a good idea to get it fixed. The question is, how much damage is in my back now? Now, from what I can tell, and I couldn't tell until I was in the truck going to Tyler, and everything's happened so half fast after that, it just was confusing. Right. But when I should have gotten a steroid treatment in Oklahoma before I even left, and that probably would have took care of everything. But how do you get to it? Like my mother used to say, go see Dr. Burrell. So, I never knew what it was or why. I just go see Dr. Burrell, he'd do something, and then I'd be fine. It was like a steroid injection. So even in Naples, they knew I was disabled like that. They tried to do a cover up because one of their doctors screwed up the diagnosis. I told him, look, I need to rest. He goes, no, you need to exercise. I'm like, I don't think so. But he put me in this exercise program and my body blocked up. Mm. What are you doing? Well, it probably happened in Santa Fe. My back adjusted in, and it wasn't overly tight because I was getting massages and everything. Right. But when they cut that off, that was the end of it. No, they cut it off, believe me. Like I said, I'm not relishing the idea of walking home injured like this, but I'm not going to sit down when I get home, so why take an Uber? And the thing was saying, well, you should have just took an Uber, trying to Satan's trying to get in there and cause doubt. And I'm like, no, Hashem's with me. That vehicle needs to have a good tire on it. Waiting is not an option. And if I happen to have to take an Uber anyway, then I do. See, I figured he was behind, but I never got to ask him the question when I called in. Should I bring it a half hour later? Again, that's what seems to be happening. Actually, part of staying health was sitting in my vehicle and driving to those malls in Santa Fe because it spreads your hips. So twice a day, I would get in my vehicle and drive somewhere, or sometimes drive the both in that one thing. So I was intuitively staying well, and they would get angry at it, of course, because their desire is devilish evil things. Well, there's a possibility once I get the back to calm down that I could actually lay in a bed and not have my back cramp up, like in the middle of the day. For some reason, in the evenings, it's a little bit better. I might have to decrease my melatonin, actually. I just figured, I was like, why am I drowsy? Forgot I was taking melatonin. I used to take just one anyway. Again, my body's more released, so it probably flows better. Well, on my right side, my left side released. My legs are kind of weak, and but they're equal, more equal. So, and when it was tightening, when they were tightening up too much, my legs would get real strong real quick. But it was pulling on all the root nerves and everything. So it was like crazy. So I know that the surgery probably works. So what might happen is if I get the right to relax and the left fires up in conjunction with the right, that both of those legs could, be a little bit better until surgery, right? Which would have happened last time probably. What happened is now I can see it and I can understand it. How you doing? All right. The right side tightened up, and the left side lost focus on contracting and or adjusting, and it relaxed. I don't know what's doing that. It doesn't have pain when that's happening. But the right side gets, like right now, I'm too cramped on the right. So there's a muscle right here that's doing this. That's the trigger muscle. If I can find it, and I don't have any lotion on me, and massage it. But see, when you go to massage, like you don't have to think through it like that. It just happens for you. Right. This never would have happened. And now the right side, just a little bit. I mean, even though it's the neck and all that and trapezius, it seems like it's trying to adjust for the lower lumbar to it. Because every so often they'll both adjust equally. I mean, 4 years ago, you should have. I mean, if there was ever a doubt, 4 years ago, they definitely should have been pulled off and forced to stay away. I mean, forced to stay away if necessary. No, they do. This is how they kill people. This is how they cause them to commit a crime or a sex offense. I told you. They want to kill me for it. 10 massages a year. Every insurance company. You'll have less crime. You'll have less poverty. Boy, it seems a lot longer than it did last time. Last time I was all cramped up, including my legs. Now I'm like jelly. I don't think I'm supposed to stay like this. Again, I went to many places that were beneficial and would have stopped this in its tracks, including yoga in California. Yeah, that's why Hashem kept focusing me on yin yoga, and they kept unfocusing. So from what I can tell, we're lacking certain certain specialties, I guess, in other specialties, but I think the focus is not there. We need muscle and movement specialists to troubleshoot happening, because again, orthopedic surgeons, they're looking at the bones. Something could be causing those bones. So they send you to pain management. But again, we're missing some specialty for that link between pain. I know we call it physical therapy, but you go to physical therapy and all they know is they exercise you. You may not, I wasn't ready for exercise. Something was missing. I went to like 4 sessions, told her I can't do this. Oh, I was on track until December. And then December of 2020. And then I canceled the surgeries. Thank you, Larry. Seems like it's 7 times as far. I might actually take an Uber to go back. I don't think I have another trip left in me. At least this will eat up some of the time. By the time I get home, it'll probably be almost 4, if not 4. It'll probably be 4. Yeah, if I had got my surgery, I'd probably ride my bike back up there. Again, if they were forced to stay away at the point where I identified the issue, then things would have still went well. It's so weird how it goes from being too cold to almost too warm. No steadiness in this weather. Well, theoretically, it should be ready about 4, but it's probably not going to be ready till at least 4:30, apparently. In reality, if I was well, I'd just take a short break and then kind of go right back. All right. Again, there was no reason to degrade my health at this level. Well, planet's probably neat. No, it's weird for me because my mind's been somewhere else for 4 years, 5 years, maybe even longer. I've been able to push through to a house and everything like that. Again, but they know the results of what they do to somebody. basically, I probably was past no surgery last time. I mean, when they say don't do surgery, that means, within reason. Right. Don't stay cramped up. So, like in Oklahoma, I should have been able to get the pain management. Like if I got to massage, then pain management would have came next. I knew I needed to get a massage. I just couldn't get to it. Yeah, they're sitting on the other side, willing me down. Sitting on the other side of the internet. Devils, man. Every last one of them's a devil and a criminal. Now, I probably needed pain management in Santa Fe just to hit me with more steroid, and then I could get back to. They would have got me back into massage somehow. But again, how do you get to something you can't get to? And my legs aren't as strong as they were when they were, cramped up. So I don't know. We'll see where this gets to. Because I've had weak legs before and then they come back, but I think this is too late in the game, but we'll see. Regardless of where I get the surgery, I need to, if I get the surgery, and I think I will, I need to start it here, obviously. What happens is my tissues on the right side get tight, and then my right sinus doesn't drain. So I need to get the steroid and then a bunch of massage. Like when this is done, I might just be walking on messed up legs that are weak and achy, and then at that point I can go and get the surgery. They didn't wave to me. The flex vehicle people, I don't know if they saw me. I guess they didn't see me. Well, I don't know what it is because now every time my back tries to adjust, it gets painful. So it's like cramp. I guess it just maybe the adjustment is that tight, but maybe because it kept cramping up. Right. So if it relaxes, maybe it'll adjust in a little bit. I don't. This definitely shouldn't have been done to me. Indications all along not to do it. I was going, oh, because you're crazy. Been doing it to me for decades just to get to me into that condition. But again, they know the scam. That's how you make your millions, because they can't do anything normal. They can only be murderers and disablers and sexualizers. When I went through it in Santa Fe, I figured, well, I found my treatment. This is going to work, and they, psychologically operated it. And they wanted me to back out, but I'm like, they said push through it, ignore it. I mean, before I left the Mars service, that's what they say. That's just all you do is you just push through it, ignore it. Well, you can't. Then they pay other people. Right. See this.